This next Maya Basics animation lesson, I'm going to talk about set-driven keys, which is one of the most powerful features in Maya. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to build some flaps that are inside of this engine, and when the ship goes, or the pod goes down, we want the engine, the flap, to come out of the engine. So it kind of looks like it's trying to restabilize automatically. I'm not a mathematician, so for me, writing expressions is not the funnest thing to do. However, with set-driven key, it's awesome. It makes life so much easier. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to have to model out a fin. So I'll start with a cube that will scale up like so. Scale that back flat. And I'll grab these points here and just move those in. So it looks like something like this. All right, get out of object component mode there. And one of the things that I'd like to do is set the pivot point way up here. So I don't know if you remember this from the previous lesson, but you just hit Insert and press V, and that way you can snap it way up here and press Insert again. All right. So I'm going to do one engine, and then I would recommend that you do each engine on its own. That way you get a chance to practice this lesson and material. So I'm just going to do something real simple like this. Just a real simple fin that's going to be coming out of this engine. And I'm going to scale it down a little bit more because I don't want it coming out in the back. Okay, very cool. So we'll rotate that. So it'll come out like so and then go back. So it'll only come out of the engine when it needs to. Okay, so let me show you how to do a set-driven key. What we're going to do is we're going to create a relationship between this body. Make sure it says pod body, okay, and this fin. And I'm going to call this, I'm actually going to call this stable for a stabilizer. Okay, well, let's make a set-driven key. First of all, we have to find out who is going to control what. So in this instance, this little guy is going to do the controlling. So we'll select the item that it's going to control. So we'll go up here to Animate, Set-Driven Key, Option Box. So that option box brings up this window. Okay. And what we're going to have here is we have the stabilizer, which is stable. We're going to rotate it in Y. All right, that part is done. Next, what we need to do is select the pod body. So select it. That's not pod body. So I'm going to press up on my keyboard. Now I have pod body. And I'm going to load that into driver. All right, great. So my pod body and my fin are connected. All I need to do is select Translate Y. So when it goes up and down, it connects it to the rotation. All right, now we just need to set the amounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my pod down. So let's say it's right there, pretty low, like so. So when it's low like that, I want this to rotate all the way in. Okay, that looks good. So that's the initial setup. I'm going to hit key. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy and make sure you go to the pod body, right? Make sure it says pod body, and set it back to where it was. And you can watch this number here. We can type in 0. Okay, and then we're going to select this guy here, and we're going to set in a 0 value. Actually, we're going to pull it all the way out like so. And we're going to hit key on the set-driven key box. All right, so now we have a relationship set. So if I move this pod body up and down, can you see how it automatically, let me see if I can get this to where you can see it here. Watch this little piece here. it'll automatically move in and out. That's great. That's exactly what we were wanting. Let me set this back to 0. All right, so why don't you go ahead and make one for the other side, and if you get stuck, you can open up the solution file or watch this video one more time.